What's up, dudes? So, I am here at my desk again because the last stationary type video that I did actually did surprisingly well, and it is another thing I enjoy. So, I hope you don't mind that I am doing this style video right now. It's helping me out just because this is very easy and low-key for me to make right now while I recuperate. But today we are going to be doing a sketchbook tour because I just recently finished this sketchbook and I wanted to show it to you guys. Now I'm just going to be kind of flipping through and talking. I'm not going to go over like each picture individually because I don't know if you can tell, but this is a big sketchbook, okay? It's a couple hundred pages. So this sketchbook is technically an anthropology journal. Unfortunately, I don't think they make them anymore. This was the small size. This is my second one of these notebooks because I love them so much and I like the size and the paper. Because it's not a traditional size, it is a little bit more square, but I don't think they make them anymore, which I'm so disappointed about. But okay, so I'm gonna unravel this and let's get started. So this sketchbook I started June 28th of last year and I finished June 12th, so I don't know when this video comes up, is gonna go up, but for me is yesterday. Maybe it's yesterday for you too. So, before I get into it, I do a lot of like life studies, so there is some nudity in here, so if you're not okay with the nip nops or like partial nudity, then sorry, bye. And also just like generally some graphic stuff, blood, guts, that kind of thing. So if you're not into that, this might not be the video for you. Okay, I'm gonna continue. But it's crazy because I didn't feel like my style changed that much over the course of the year, but like it definitely has. And I try to be very experimental with my sketchbooks. I know not every page is gonna be pretty. There are some pages where I just like do the same pose over and over and over again because I can't get it right. And then there's other pages that are like full illustrations. So I mean, I feel like sketchbooks are just, you know, they're for practice. So you gotta just use them how you use them. And sometimes you get good stuff out of them, and sometimes it's just like, I'm gonna draw the same thing over and over and over again. So I use a lot of markers, as you can see, and I love this paper because it like, for the most part, I mean, I think this was watercolor that I tried with that. And actually, it works surprisingly well, but it does bleed. So it's not sketchbook paper. So that is something to keep in mind. But I also tried doing a lot of sort of mini comics in here because the page size really, I feel like it let me explore, it let me, you know, do all these crazy things. Like, I feel like I had enough space, but also it wasn't too overwhelming having that blank page. These pages, I actually, as you can see, there's a couple blank pages in here because I was trying to do a traditional animation and I just like never got around to finishing it. And I don't know if my fellow artistes out there are like this, but like I have to go in order, so there's a couple like blank pages here at the beginning. I used to not be like that at all though. I used to literally start my sketchbooks in the middle and I would go outward, and I can't stand the thought of doing that now just because like I feel like I want to see my progress, and like by doing that middle and going outward, it just like gets so confusing, and I'm like, I don't know where I started, I don't know where I am now, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. But I do a lot of style experiments in here as well. There's a lot of things that I don't post that are just for me to sort of explore and experiment. and release my creativity. And these last couple pages were from Inktober last year, and I feel like that's such a cool milestone because my style has definitely evolved since then, and like in my mind it hasn't like at all, but then like when I actually go back and look at the pictures, I'm like, oh shit, you went and improved. But I love how Copics show up in this sketchbook. I'm gonna try to give you guys a little bit of closer look, but my thing is it I can't think of the word. My go-to with like paper, I use Copics a lot. So like when a paper is like this and like it's so smooth, the actual color deposit is so smooth, because when a type of paper doesn't work with markers, it like does this weird stuff with the ink and like gets all splotchy, and it's just like, it's not fun. It doesn't look good. But like, I love how this paper is just so smooth and amazing. But yeah, I feel like, and also look at this ink. Look at how well this ink showed up in this paper, and it like the only things that bled through were the markers. I wish I could use these sketchbooks forever. I wish I got more of them because I only got 2, and this was the second one, and I used it all up. So, but I actually just recently switched to using a watercolor sketchbook for like marker stuff, and it's actually working pretty well so far. Because I had kind of switched from, I used to be a diehard Moleskine fan, y'all, but recently, within the past couple years, they like changed their paper formula, and it's just like, it's so not good anymore. And I'm so sad about it. But I recently picked up a watercolor Moleskine, and it's actually pretty good. But for my main sketchbook, I am using another sketchbook that I got from Anthropology, and I'm sort of just using it for sketches at this point. I'm not really sure if I'm going to use ink in it, but, you know, we'll see. And also, for the most part, I do post a lot of these on my Instagram. If you want to, like, I know I'm flipping through kind of fast, but, like, there's so many pages. So if you want to, like, you know, stop and look at any of these, a lot of them are on my Instagram, which I will link below. And then also the ones that aren't on my Instagram, most of them are on my Patreon, and they're like actual high-res versions of the sketches. So if you're into that, a lot of them are there. But also, like, probably like half of this stuff I don't post. If you can tell by this point, for the most part, I only sketch, like, I don't use both sides of the page. I haven't been with this sketchbook just because a lot of the times I'll sketch something and then like I'll go back and ink it, and so I don't want to like run the risk of like having a sketch I really like and then doing something else on the back and also really liking it, and like, you know. So I feel like I do draw a lot of the same facial expressions in like this particular sketchbook, and that's because a lot of the times that's like my warm-up is to just like draw like bust. I also I really need to do more like anatomy studies, because that's something I've kind of like drifted away from just because it's boring. But like I'll get in that mode where I'm like, I don't know how anything works no more. I just need to do a study. Oh, there's some nip-naps. But I also want to sort of make it fun and creative. So like I try to make them like journal spreads when I do studies, because it's more fun for me, and like sometimes I end up posting them. Another thing I really need to practice more, but I'm so bad at, is like perspective. Because like I just need to practice. I mean, that's the end of the story there. I just need to practice. But yeah, that's just one of those things. And oh, I love I love bright pink to just like slap on things sometimes. It's so much fun to just be like, you know what this needs? Bright heckin' pink. And then, it's all good. And I think, well, there's still so many pages. There's like, I think this is over 200 pages in this sketchbook. So that's why I didn't want to like individually talk about like, this picture I did on this day because of this, and this is the story behind it, because like that would literally take an hour. But I hope, this kind of thing is interesting, because I do like when I finish a sketchbook, I do kind of like to flip through it and like see how it looks as a whole, because I feel like it's a very different experience than just like an individual picture like posted on my Instagram. And you can't really see this page, but sometimes I do use like I was testing out like blue and red pencil sketches underneath, because I was trying to do like more dynamic poses. But there are a lot of these sort of near the end, I was like just kind of trying to get back into it, because when I start to near the end of a sketchbook, I'm like, I don't want to finish it. I don't know why, but I just get in that mode where I'm like, it's too daunting. But then I got back into it near like the very, very end. And there's also these pictures. I was trying to do more illustrations also near like the end. But there's these pages. I know I'm jumping all over the place, where I just kind of like will draw one doodle in the corner. And the reason for that is like, I don't know if there's any other people like this, but if I start drawing on a page and I'm just like so uninspired and daunted by that particular page, like I can't draw anything else on it. And I know it's a waste of paper, but like I have to go and skip the page, because otherwise I just like won't draw. But this I really like. This is just like a study of myself. I need to do more studies, because sometimes I'll get in a rut and I just need to do studies to get out of it and be like, hey, this is how things look. You just gotta draw them, fam. And I've been doing a lot more like stuff with ink and just like trying to sketch from the get-go with like pens and with ink. So, but I've also been trying to incorporate doing like a very sketchy underlayer of pencil and then like doing the rest of it with ink, just so it doesn't like mess me up. Because sometimes it's just like when you draw with ink and then you get one piece of anatomy wrong and it's like, oh no. Oh no, it's ruined and it's in ink. But I think we're coming to the end here, and yeah, we are. So this is the final page, and that is my sketchbook from the past year. This has been my main sketchbook. I do also have a travel sketchbook. I was gonna throw that in this video, but like, I feel like it would not really fit and it would kind of mess with the vibe of it. I don't know. If you guys want to see a flip through of like my travel sketchbook, it's a very different thing, but this is like my main personal sketchbook. So I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. They're easy for me to make right now, so thank you for letting me make them. But if you want to see, like I said before, if you want to see like more in-depth pictures like this, I do have an Instagram and a Patreon if you'd like to check that out. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!